morning.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Hi, Avishek. Good morning. Very good morning.
Hello, hi Somalia.
So, really excited for our first live podcast on our page Industry Ready through LinkedIn. So, how you guys are feeling today?
Good. Thank you so much for inviting me for such a milestone event. I'm sure a few years ahead, when you're going to look back, I think it will bring good memories.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the second episode of the ongoing series, The Career Talk, and I'm super excited to have this session with you guys.
I would just like to add that while you guys invited me, I think it's a pleasure to be here because we always had such wonderful conversations offline. And I think the audience is going to witness the wonderful conversations online today. So let's bring them into our conversation. Yeah.
I agree.
Indeed.
So for today's podcast, your host Gaurav Shivare, getting you the career talk again as a episode 2. My partner Sumalya Sarkar is my co-host, and we have our guest in honor for today's podcast, Mr. Avishek SenGupta. So, welcome Avishek. Thanks for coming and joining in. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and
Thank
thanks
you for
again for inviting
this
me. It's a pleasure to be.
And I'm looking forward for this entire hour where we are going to have
really amazing
conversations.
Yeah. Let's get the excitement going. Yes.
And the topic itself, the career transformation, where we are going to talk about your career and the success stories that you have created in last 20 years by transforming your career multiple times, right? And the strategy that you have used. We are going to listen to you, and people who are listening this live are going to learn a lot from this podcast. That how they can also shape up their career if they are stuck or they are thinking about a move, right, to a totally different technology, different role, how they can do that.
Yeah, and if there are questions, we are going to take those questions, any specific to any particular topic, we are going to have them as well.
Yeah.
I think, Gaurav, I missed you for the last 15 seconds. If you can just rephrase your question for me again.
Yeah, sure, Avishek. I was saying, it was not a question. I was saying people are going to learn a lot by listening to you about your success stories, how you have transformed your career. And that way they can also take inspiration from that and think about doing the transformations, a similar transformation in their career. So that's the overall motto for today's podcast.
Absolutely. While I don't want to throw away the agenda out of the window, I would just like to add that I think it has been a busy week for all of us, I guess. And I'm sure the audience joining us is joining us on a Saturday morning, just not to get a lot of gyan from us. I would say they are here in a mood to just unwind and be starting with the weekend. So we'll keep it very light. I will try not to throw jargons. And this is purely, there are so many leadership podcast available online. How this sets us apart is that I'm going to share my experience. So I think yes, people will benefit from it, and let's see what difference can we make to the audience's lives.
Great.
I think Christina is joining us. Hi, Christina. Good to see you.
Hi, Christina. Good morning.
Okay. Thanks for joining.
So Abhishek,
yes.
Just to start with, the first question which comes to my mind, that if you can tell us a little bit about your career journey, a brief about from where you started and so far, how it has been.
Okay. I'll generally people would start with this in post-graduation, but I think since we are trying to address this particular podcast for people who are about to start their career or have started their career and they are looking for something more exciting, something more challenging, I would say I would start with something which goes back to when say I was in my 10th grade or 12th grade. So when we were in our 10th grade or 12th grade, I don't think we had an opportunity to have a lot of mentors. this online platform, portals, podcast was absolutely missing. So we certainly did not have the opportunity.
Agreed.
At the same time, what we did not have was we did not have a lot of noise as well. I think today a lot of people are coming in and giving in their opinions, their experiences. So the generation alpha, so to say, is confused that whom to listen to and whom not to. So it is difficult to actually filter out that what will work for me and what will not work for me. Essentially, it is difficult to try out everything and then choose one. So we had an advantage. The generation alpha now, people who are just about to start their career or have started, they have a problem of plenty. They do not know what to choose from. So when I was growing up, as I said, in my 10th and 12th, no mentors, very few people who would give you career guidance. So basically, your career choices would be shaped by people around you, your friends, your core group, your peer group, or people who are 1 or 2 years seniors to you, what line they have chosen, and what your professors or what your teachers would talk about, what's going on in the industry.
You try to
Yeah,
copy
you
your
try to
seniors or
copy.
your
Yeah,
friends.
shamelessly you try to copy. Sometimes you may not like certain things that you get into, but then again, there's so much of societal pressure. I think this one thing has gone away now, that the societal pressure to fall back or comply has been relaxed a bit, but at the same time, people are very confused. I fail to understand why, because they have so much to choose from. So it's a good thing that you have so many choices. You're spoiled for choices, but then again, it's a problem because they don't know what to choose. So I think that's where we come in. I think people who have gone through that journey, who have seen an absolute scarcity in terms of career talks, platforms, from a place where I think we are all here to help, guide, and mentor people. So I think people can only benefit, and we can help them do that very well. So going back to my career journey, 10, 12, I said no career guidance. So you got into, the two best possible, engineering and medical. These were the, I would say, hotcakes. I chose one. So got into engineering, cleared engineering, and then I got into academics. So this was, I think this is a long-term goal also. Yeah, that I want to finish my career with academics. So I started with academics, and because I always, would like to always explore that, yes, I can teach people well. I think I can guide people well. So I had siblings at home, and whom I could actually take them through their homework, small work, project works, everything. So it gave me confidence that yes, why cannot I try with a larger class? So just out of engineering and got into, so performed well. So it was easy to get into, academic institution as a lecturer. So that was a great experience. I think about 4 years there. Yeah, that was a conscious choice. I think that was a conscious choice. Yeah. No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that was by force, because I got into a private institution in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. I think a lot of my students who are my friends and colleagues now, if they are listening to this podcast, they would know what I'm talking about. But it was not by force, because getting into that institute involved, participating in an entrance exam with 1,500 people on that day. And after that, I think they only selected 4 people. So it was a huge filtration. The entire day went into it. Was a very rigorous way of evaluating. And it was a personal choice, of course, because I wanted to know that, okay, if my end goal is this, yeah, I always had this in mind, what I want to end with before I even started. So this was very good. So it was not by force, it was by choice. And I'm lucky, I would say, that on that first job of mine, I met very good people, very good mentors who are still in touch with me, and I really respect them a lot, because just not because they are colleagues. They have been my colleagues, I think 20 years back, but I still talk for them. I can vouch for them. I can really admire, their camaraderie and the way they welcomed me, an absolute fresher, into their world, and they treated me very well, and that gave me a lot of confidence, and actually boosted my morale that yes, things can happen if you really sincerely, with a good intent, if you try, you can make a difference. Yeah. So from there, I moved to a corporate journey, and then corporate journey mostly.
Can I pause you, Avishek?
Yeah, sure.
I know the switch from academic to corporate journey. I mean, it will not happen that easily, right? So
yes.
Can you talk about how that happened? Like,
initially, it was clouded by self doubt. So while I was into academics, I was also constantly trying to crack CAT and other MBA entrance examination, because I always had this in mind that I want to grow. Now, people might, listening to this conversation, might say you always had the end in mind, that you wanted to end with academics. So why did you get into corporate? I think when you are into academics, yeah. So so I just thought, I anticipated that question, and before somebody pops up into the dialogue window, I thought I would pick up the question myself. So the idea, the idea is that, okay, when you want to teach, it is not necessary that you should restrict yourself to only engineering undergraduates. Why not management? Why not PhD people? So if you have to teach, if you have to guide, if you have to mentor people at higher levels of education, then definitely you need to increase your level of information education. Formal education definitely, sets you apart. And of course, if you have to be a PhD guide or somebody, you have to have a certain amount of industry experience. Of course, academic experience counts, but if you have first-hand industry experience, I think that is much more valuable, because then you can bring real-life insights, for your PhD researcher or candidate.
Absolutely.
So,
but
yeah,
back
so
then, there was
Mm.
no platform such as Industry Ready that time,
Correct.
who can provide you mentors, the experienced mentor of at least 10 to 15 years, who can help you doing this transition. So it must be really tough for you that time.
It was tough, but I think my first mentors were my parents. I would very proudly say this. Yeah, I would very proudly say this today, that my first mentors were my parents. I wouldn't say they were the most successful people on earth, but I think they had my good in their mind. So they would know that what would be good for me. They know me very well in and out. Of course, I'm the child, so they know me very well. So they actually guided me, shaped me, and more than career guidance, I think they gave me my values. They gave me, the clarity of thought. That think for yourself, that what would be good, evaluate what is available, try to collect information. Yeah, so I think before I say I had industry mentors, my first mentors were my parents. So I think this is a key takeaway for everybody who is listening. That get back home. Get back to your root. Try to see who in your family can really guide you. They may not know what is available in the market, but they know you. So they would know that where you would shine. So we mostly discount, and I think Zen Alpha or people who are in college, they think, oh, our parents don't know anything. They are outdated. So I think this is one thing that they should definitely not think. And it's a very, very wonderful thing. Parents would love to sit down with you. People who are in their early teens or late teens or early 20s, I rarely see them sitting down with your parents for an honest conversation.
Yeah.
So that is something we should definitely try at home.
I would like to share here, Avishek, since I'm away from my hometown, weekly I have a short sit down with my father discussing what's happening in the latest time that we are living in, what's happening in the industry, what are the new things like Gen AI, as we all know. I mean, it's the most trending topic. So what around Gen AI is trending? So I have endless conversations with my dad once a week for sure. That is a sit down I have.
That's a wonderful thing to do. Yes, absolutely brilliant. Keep it up.
So coming on what you mentioned, about the pressures, about the societal pressure. So what are the different kinds of pressure or pressure situations that you have been through mentally, and how did you overcome them?
Okay. To take that question very honestly, rather than giving a very fancy and superficial answer, when I was growing up, I think one of the first things was livelihood, of course. we come through a lot of struggle in our family life, in our early family life. It comes up that we did not have the luxury of a lot many things other people would have. And one thing that I think my parents taught us is that don't compare, because comparison is such a killer of joy and creativity. If you start comparing what you are today with others, there might be so many thousands of people who are better than you, but there would be hundreds also who are not that great than you. So if you start comparing and be sad about it, that you know what, I am still not there. I have a long way to go, but that is such a wonderful thing to happen. You know that you have a long way to go, right? You don't have to be sad thinking that oh, somebody has achieved. Well, very good. Celebrate everybody's your success, but don't be sad at the same time, because when you are sad, you kill your joy. You stop counting your blessings, and you don't enjoy what you have already achieved. So never undermine your achievements. So whatever, however small they may be, you should never undermine your achievements. I think you should always try to see how far have you come. Where were you 10 years back and where are you today? And start comparing and taking mental notes. If not possible, sit down with a notebook on a Saturday or a Sunday morning and try to write them down. That what have you achieved? What have been your achievements? Don't fool yourself, because that doesn't help. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You just have to prove yourself to yourself. So that is how I look at it. Yes.
Yeah.
So that takes away the pressure, Somalia, to answer your question. If you have to compare yourselves to everybody else, then you will put yourself under a lot of pressure, which is unnecessary. So you should compare yourself to what you were 5 years back, 2 years back. If you have grown, if you are happy today, if a morning brings you a smile on your face, you are there. You don't have to worry about what the world is doing.
Yep. Rightly said, Avishek.
And since you mentioned that you like to teach and guide, I was thinking, it just came to my mind, like, how did you inculcate this mentorship or guidance and the affinity of teaching people and the confidence? From where did you get it, and how are you maintaining it?
I would say ability to teach or guide. I can say maybe that is natural. I have been helping my siblings, from a very early age. But the confidence to stand on the stage, I had none, zero when I first started. So I think one of the most important part of the interview process that happened, my first job, my academic job, was not only to clear the entrance examination and a panel interview, but also, yeah, but also to go through a demo class. So the person, the panel who selected us, they said that you will have to take a demo class, and depending on how you manage your class, you will be able, you will be selected further. So that was one of the rounds. So the confidence, and we anticipating such an exercise. So how I overcame the lack of confidence, I would say it is sheer practice. I would, people would say, in front of mirror, and we have heard Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan doing that. That stand in front of mirror and repeat dialogue. So maybe I have gone up on stage because I had absolute stage fear. From a point that I had of stage fear to a point where I deliver lectures in many institutes and go back and address people and doing live sessions. This does not come easy. So this comes with a lot of practice.
There is, Somalia, there is a noise from, I think, coming on the other side, maybe.
Yeah.
On the LinkedIn side. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Avishek. Coming back to the another important question, like about the key skills, right? So you have been in the industry for last 20 years, and you have changed multiple roles, right? But any particular key skills or experience from your previous role that you found particularly important or valuable, which you have taken to your new role in your current organization?
If you want me to answer the name of a course, I don't think I'm going to do that here. what I'm going to do that,
Not the course.
yeah,
Skills probably, how you build those.
Yeah, because most of the times when I hear other podcasts or hear other industry experts, they would suggest courses or career path. They would chalk out a career path for you, but we never know. Thousands of people, one single career path may not work. Okay, so what I think is that let us come out of skill is not unidimensional. Like I always maintain that success is not unidimensional. You cannot say you are successful only if you have climbed the corporate ladder. There are so many aspects in your life where you can say that you have been successful. You might have a very very successful career life, but you are a sad person inside. You do not find inner happiness. Then really, is that success worth it? Is a question that we need to introspect upon. Okay, so like success is not unidimensional. I would say the question that you asked about, that what is a skill? Skill can be multifaceted. Skill can be you're very high on emotional quotient. Okay, so I'm going to let out that what are the few things that I take with me as skill to any organization that I go is I first kill that self doubt whether I'll be able to do it or not.
Okay.
So
but
in my
many
career
people still keep that self doubt.
Yeah. So there are
Really
ways you
hard
have
to
to
get
study. So yeah, how to get out of that self doubt is you study, you do a lot of background research before you get into anything. Okay, you don't podcast and next morning you start subscribing for a course. That is such a I would say not so wise thing to do, and that is not something that we intend to suggest to anybody. Please don't do that. Don't say that okay, Saturday morning we went to a webcast, somebody suggested a career path and Sunday morning. No, please don't do that. See, I think you want to ask a sub question.
That question was like, if you remember, one of the visit we had where you were talking about the morning affirmation that you use. Do you want to talk about that? Is it helping you for
I was coming to that. Yes. In order to take care of self doubt, yes. So every day, so when you go through, a lot of inputs, like I said, today the problem is about plenty and a lot of noise coming to you. How do you filter that noise? So one of the first things that people do today, they sleep after watching 1 full hour of mobile phone or tablets or iPads or whatever they have. So basically exposure to gadget very late in the night and early in the morning. I think it kills your creativity to a lot of extent. You might be aware of the theory of 5 a.m. Successful people get up at 5 a.m. So if you have to get up at 5 a.m. and look at your mobile phone, then please don't get up at 5 a.m. So that is a time when you connect with the universe. That is a time when you introspect. That is a time when you meditate, when you pray, and that helps you overcome your self doubt to a larger extent. I think we all are aware of the tool called 5 why. We use it often in problem solving in our day-to-day work life, right? Why don't you do a 5 why for yourself? What is keeping you away from success? What do you actually want to do vis-a-vis what your parents want you to do, or your friends want you to do, or your senior want you to do? So there's a lot of pressure. We say there's a lot of pressure. The pressure only comes when you are not clear in your head what you want to achieve. Okay, somebody can force you to do something if you're not you want to do. If you're very clear in your head, I think this is my feeling. This is absolutely coming from me. It is not clouded by any other person's judgment. And don't try to comply or fit into a particular format or straitjacket thing. Always question. Do that 5 why. Why is it necessary? Why are we doing this? Even if a work is given to me, so I have this habit generally, and sometimes it comes out that there are certain arguments in a practical work life scenario. When a work comes to us, most of the time people would want that keep your head down and get the work done. That is fine, but in your mind you should never stop asking that why am I doing this, and why is it necessary to keep on doing it. So that is one skill that I would like to talk about, and particularly to this skill, I think how it helped in one of my career journeys. I would explain it further in the podcast. And second is move from confusion to clarity of thought. You have to do a lot of thinking yourself. Sit down, down alone, think about it, do a lot of writing. You said do a lot of affirmations that what am I good at and why there is confusion, why there is lack of clarity, what I want to achieve. So, break it down. You don't have to decide that, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what you're going to do. No, you just decide what are you going to do tomorrow and this week. I think if you start doing that for
Avishek,
the first couple of weeks, you get the path.
Can we try to link the law of wasted effort with the career transformation? That how this can help people, like.
Okay. Before that, as I was saying, law of wasted effort. Before we go to that, I would try to story of how I bring that skill of my one into my actual career transformation journey. So, as I was saying that from a academic career, I moved into a corporate career. My initial corporate was very much into Six Sigma professional, a Lean Six Sigma professional driving transformation. And then after being there for, I think, good 10 years, 10 to 12 years, I consciously moved into the IT part of it, okay? By around 2014-15, I think the buzzword in the industry was RPA, AI, and all these things that we hear very often. ChatGPT was still not there. But yes, we hear about, we heard about RPA, robotics, machine learning, AI. So all those things were just getting into the regular workspace of a person, and leaders, business leaders, were interested in knowing how transformation could be done using automation. Okay, so that brought me to my next role, that was a RPA program manager. So as I moved from an academic to a quality professional to being into IT, the first pushback that I got from people around me was, oh, you don't know IT? How are you going to program manage this? So they were unaware of the fact that I, being a Lean Six Sigma professional, would not, be constrained by what domain I am working. I would be looking at everything with a process view. That what are you doing in IT? So the first week into the new workplace, I think the challenge was to convince everybody that yes, I can do it here. So like you said, it added a lot of pressure, and for some part of the time, I had that self-doubt. Okay, am I in the right place? Then I said, okay, let's turn the table for the people. So then I picked up my magnifying glass of a Lean Six Sigma expert, and I started asking them, what do you do in IT, and why do you do it the way you do it? Who told you to do it, and how is it helping you? So when I started this, so this 5 why, this habit of 5 why that I have been practicing, so this helped me. When I started asking this question, that made a lot of people uncomfortable. They said, oh, you're asking these questions because you don't know. I said, yes, that's exactly the point. I don't know, and I want to know. Since you are the expert, why don't you tell me why is it and how it is? Why are you doing the way it is? So it came up. So the point I'm trying to drive home today is that not everybody who does the work exactly know why they are doing it. Half of the people who are doing, or more than half of the people who are doing the work, if you ask them, why is it necessary to do the work that you're doing? They won't have an answer. They would give you a very lame answer saying, my boss
because somebody has told them to do it.
Yeah, somebody has told them to do it. Yes, but why is it necessary? How is it linking? How are you benefiting? Say, for example, to prepare a report, you spend 7 hours a day. Okay, so basically the whole productive day you spend into looking at that report, and that the report is looked by whom? Only one level up. Do you really think you should spend 7 hours a day in a month to create a report which is going to be looked at by just one person? I would say that is such a waste of productive hours. No? So, when you start asking questions, I simply started doing that, and that made them conscious that, oh, this guy knows a lot of IT. No, I still, did not know a lot of IT when I was asking these questions in my second or third week. But what made them realize is that, okay, if he understands, if you make him understand our challenges, so the IT people open up to their challenges, that, you know what, I'm doing this report because somebody asked me to do this 2 years back, and I'm still doing it. So I said, stop it from tomorrow morning, can you? And what would it take? Who would get impacted? Will the CEO ring you on your cell phone and say, you know what, I have not received my morning report, where is it? Okay, my business is going to shut down if you don't send me that report. No, nothing of that sort is going to happen. So asking the right questions, and when you get into that 5 why mode, I think you can solve a lot of practical problems in your workplace and in your home as well. Why do you need to do things the way they are done? But yeah, that requires a lot of courage and conviction inside. You cannot just go and ask the question in any forum because it might backfire sometimes. So you should be ready for that. If you have the courage to handle that backfire.
And I think it also requires two key traits or features or that I call as like organization and discipline. If that and the clarity, when the clarity is there, you organize and you discipline yourselves and then walk that path. So as you were saying, like what would be your message for the alpha and the Gen Zs? Because we get, I mean, most of us, the mass people get this clarity at a very later stage. What would be your message for the Gen Z and the alphas to on how to get this clarity? Because these 5 whys are not taught in schools or college.
It is not.
We learn at a very later stage.
Many of people are still thinking, what is he talking about? Which 5 whys? Is it why or why?
WHY.
Yeah. So what would your message be your message for them? Like how to get that clarity, be get organized and disciplined and focused at a very early stage than what we have done.
Yeah. So you're very correct. So I had the privilege, as I said earlier, that I had the privilege of getting mentored by some of the best people in the industry. So, and I'm very lucky. I consider I'm still in touch with them, and I talk to them very regularly. And they need not be necessary from my organization. They have done well in their lives, and they are not necessarily my reporting managers. They are absolutely from different line of businesses sometimes, or they have they went on to do something very different in their lives. So at one point in time, our career paths crossed, but I have been fortunate that they agreed, to mentor me. And what came out as one or two striking points is that, like I mentioned, and I think it is on the screen here. Don't compare, please. You are doing a lot of disservice to yourself and to your upbringing, I would say. If you have to doubt yourself every single morning, please don't do that. So stop that. Second thing is, stop fearing failures. Failures are an essential part of success. I always jokingly say that everybody is successful on LinkedIn, everybody is happy on Facebook, everybody has a just wow picture to share on Instagram, and everybody has $1 million question to ask on Twitter. Okay, and once you close that, then life brings us back to reality. Okay, so if you're only successful on LinkedIn, then you should take that with a pinch of salt and ask yourself that question. Yeah, is that success really worth it? Yeah. A few hundred likes and a few hundred reposts, is that the measure of your success? I would say that's
a side question, right? Avishek,
huh?
a side question on the same thing.
Yeah.
Every time you log into LinkedIn, you see so many people have, they have done so many certification.
Yes.
Or everybody is having a new job.
Yes.
But is it not very demotivating at times? And how do you manage with that?
That's what I said. The first thing, I never look at my mobile phone the first thing I get in the morning. Yeah, get up in the morning.
Not in the first thing, but
it is not demotivating. It is not demotivating in a sense that, because, of course, I'm not saying that don't celebrate your success. Every success. So, not everybody is becoming a managing director or a CEO every day, right? So there are people who would come and post that I become, I was a senior service associate, I became an assistant manager. That is such a good success because that boosts your morale. And somebody who is just starting their career, they would be inspired. So such messages, I'm not saying such messages are not important, but such messages are important. Derive the right things from that message. Don't get demotivated because somebody will succeed. Your time will come, like they say very popularly in the Hindi movie, apna time aayega. So, wait for your time and don't just wait, work towards it.
Exactly. Don't wait.
There's no reason to get demotivated. The one reason that people, or I would say wellness experts would say, don't look at Facebook, don't look at LinkedIn in the morning. There's a very good reason for that because most of the people cannot control their emotion. The first emotion is that they would become demotivated. While the intent of the person who is putting that post on the LinkedIn is not to demotivate a lot of people.
Agree.
Their intention is to celebrate the success, but there are few honest, genuine people who would be really happy about your success. Half of them would not be very happy. So to be very candid, yes. So
Gaurav,
that
I'm
is
getting
how
a very interesting topic for our next podcast, maybe someday, which is very aptly related to what Avishek was mentioning, like the feeling that comes when we are switched to the digital media, and about the wellness, well-being, and most our mental health, which is it is a huge area of importance right now these days in social media around us. I see that a lot, like the quality of mental health that each one of us have, and daily whatever we are experiencing. So I like to ask as the next question, which has come up on the LinkedIn
from our audience,
from Dheeraj, from the audience, and Dheeraj is asking.
I hope you find yes.
Dheeraj is asking, what were the synergies from your academic career which you were able to take into your professional career and build over them?
Okay. Would Dheeraj like to elaborate a bit on the question? Because there are many things. I would like to touch upon one or two aspects. If you can clarify the question a little bit more. Is that possible? Or Somalia, is that possible to get next question on that? Or some elaboration?
Let's take the key aspect, maybe one or 2 points which we can cover in is on the link that.
Okay.
So if he is coming up with a second question, we can follow up with that. But let's take the key aspects out of this.
Absolutely. So just to answer the question right away, I think if you're talking about synergies, I think if you remember, if you have joined when I was speaking about my academic career, I was fresh out of college. Okay. What do you expect a fresher just out of the college get into a workspace? No matter it is an academic workspace, maybe it is not very cutthroat. Okay. But one thing I found was that the friendship, the camaraderie that people had, that builds a lot of confidence into a young professional like me just joining fresh out of college. That gives me a sense that not all is bad outside. Okay, so that is one thing. So from there, wherever I went, I was very fortunate that I got a very good set of co-workers, I would say. The ease of working, it is there was one post on LinkedIn I saw, it popped up a few days back. The ease of working is such a being easy to work with is such an underrated skill, which is so true, that if you are working with a set of toxic people, no matter how supremely expert you are bound to fail. On the contrary, if you're working with average minds and everybody is supportive of each other and everybody wants to see each other succeeding, that is a workspace you should be trying to get into. So to answer Dheeraj's question, I think the kind of sense of leadership that they built in me in my first job, I think all my colleagues who are possibly listening to me today, that something, give your coworker the working atmosphere that you would like for yourself. That is a key takeaway. If you like a very very happy, very positive, very vibrant atmosphere, don't walk into your office with a gloomy face saying that I have a deadline to meet. No matter what the situation outside, meet your co-workers, your colleagues with a lot of positivity first thing in the morning. Work will happen throughout the day, but when you meet and greet, that is the time you exchange personal notes. How are things in the family? What can make the day great for us? Don't start with a fight or what went wrong last evening. The day bygone is bygone. Can we start on a fresh page? I think that is my short and quick answer to Dheeraj. I hope that works for him.
Thank you.
Thank you, Avishek. Thank you.
So, just to talk about Abhishek on the next question, if I talk about the career transition, right? That's the topic we are focusing more on. What advice would you give to individuals who are considering a career transition. Say, I'll give you a few examples, right? A fresher who got the job a year back, and now he's finding, oh, this job is not suitable for me. I'm trained. I'm more interested in development, but I'm working as a QA right now, or business analyst right now. That's the first thing. Or someone who's working as a tech lead and thinking, okay, I don't know how I will transition myself to a Scrum Master or a product owner, right? So these are the couple of examples I can give you. Like, if these are how the people will start thinking about the transition, what kind of advice will you give to them?
Okay, so to be very fair and honest to them, I won't tell them what they have already heard. I won't tell them that be positive and all those things that have been commonly talked about. So before you get into that thought process, that what you want to do, and so there are so many career limiting thoughts, I would say, that comes to people's mind, that I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Okay, so try looking for people around you, and I'm sure you will find that maybe your parents, your elder siblings, your other relatives who have done considerably well. Try to find out. Look around yourself. You don't have to look for success stories only on internet. You can get a lot of success story from people around you. Look at how people were 5 years back and what they have done now. If they have done well for themselves and for their families, try to see what they have done better. The first thing that anybody should do is don't fear failures. Failures will come. Failures are bound to come. If you are succeeding someday, people, like we were just discussing a few minutes back, that people put out their success stories on LinkedIn every morning. Do you think they never failed in their life?
Everybody does, and
Everybody
people
did.
feel
Okay,
they
yes.
only
So it's a notion. We are celebrating success because LinkedIn does not have a possible caption that I failed last evening. No, they are not celebrating failures. Everybody is in a mood to celebrate success. So possibly we are all, celebrating that along with them. But before they got into that
because
position,
only instant gratifications.
yeah, it gives some, and that is fine enough till the time it demotivates someone. So the idea is that don't fear failure. Failure will come, and I would say one thing that came with experience to me is that let go of the old inhibitions, fear of failure, self-doubt. Leave that all behind so that the universe can fill you up with a lot of positive energy. And one thing definitely I would like to say from my personal experience is that I see a lot of youth is moving away from spiritual consciousness. One of the most I would say fundamental thing, and Somalia was right. We can do a separate podcast for this. The spiritual aspect of professionals. We really get time to pray. It is not about a ritual. It is not about going to temple every Saturday. It is about living that spirituality, that feel good factor
in your mind
that comes from yes. So if you start exploring, as a human being, before you are a professional, you are a human being. So as a human being, if you have to enhance your faculties, so what is the best way to do that? You meditate. What you meditate on, irrespective of the religion or the god or any particular sect or any particular belief, so to say, that you're following, what you should try is try and connect with the universe. Okay, when you connect with that almighty, I think this is my absolute personal experience, I would say. I benefited a lot from it. So every practical professional problem can be solved a lot with help from the universe. I think something will happen, a magic will happen, it is ready to unfold.
Probably they can land up and find industry ready, right?
Yes.
Yeah. As a platform.
Absolutely.
That's also be a great help.
Correct, absolutely. Maybe the universe will lead them to this particular forum where they can get great mentorship. That is also a blessing. That is no short of a blessing. If you get the right people at right stage in your career, I think that's nothing short of a blessing, I would say.
It is.
I think we can have a mind-blowing series on this topic. I mean, hours of
we can
engagement.
Have hours of conversation because there's so much to discuss. I think
Yes.
1 or 2 podcast series is not sufficient. We need to speak on different aspects.
We need an entire series. I mean, starting from level 0. But with yes, this, I would absolutely. I was just thinking I mean, having this kind of a platform, like which inculcates, which inspires, having an industry ready platform, it is, I think, I want to add value to this platform, and I want people who are joining us in this journey. It can be a transformational platform for anybody, for a college student, and till the levels of you guys, anyone who can benefit from this platform and uh, add value to the lives of the people who are following this platform, who are there with us in this journey.
So it's not only for the people who are looking for transition, right? It is also for people who are good at their work, good at their technology, their knowledge. They can become mentors, right? So why not? Why not to spread, like, showcase your skills and transition people, the needy people, through this platform. So it's a great platform. Yeah. So there are a lot of mentors. Like, we are currently working with few mentors, but we are still in the lookout for so many mentors who can help us, for the professionals as well as the college people, right? People in the third year and fourth year in the engineering.
Gaurav, you're very right, because when I go to institutions, when I meet people who are just about to graduate or getting into the job market, I see a great lack of confidence in them sometimes. Because what they hear from their seniors is that you are not skilled enough to get into an industry. That is something that puts a lot of fear into their mind. Forget about failure after getting in. They are apprehensive whether they will at all get a chance to get in. So that fear, right? So when 20 years back I got into career, I cannot say with a lot of confidence that I had all the skills required to make it through in the industry. It comes on top. It does not come to you on day one. If somebody has the notion that you will learn and
you have to build upon it. Yes.
You have to build upon it. But the idea is that don't undermine whatever you have. The confidence that you have, the energy that you have, that is your asset. Somebody who is sitting at 60 years is no more energetic than you are. So what you bring on the table is the ability to make a difference with a lot of positive and current knowledge, and of course your energy. So come back
and
to,
I remember from this.
Yeah,
I remember from this that when I was passing out from the college, like when I was in the fourth year, the only thing in my mind was not the project that I'm going to do in the fourth year, that whether anybody will give me the job or not once I will pass out.
Correct.
And you guys must be feeling the same thing when you were in the fourth year.
That was the focus, getting a job.
Yes. So many along with us who were graduating, yes, those who were afraid to face the job right away, they said, okay, let us go to MTech directly or MS directly, outside India, pursue MS. So they went down and did that. But essentially, even after doing an MS, you have to face your first job the way you have to. There is no escape, right? So of course you will be armed with better knowledge, a higher degree, but that doesn't take away the apprehensions or the butterflies in your stomach when you join the first day at your new workplace. That is always going to be there.
And I always tell my friends and colleagues and my family that this platform, there is no qualification as such, or a certification that okay, you for you to be a mentor you need this ABCD. There is nothing like that. It's just that you have to want to impact the wider forum, the people who are still in the journey or who are going to start the journey. Just come on board and impact their lives. Just you with that,
Sumala, you break
my last question you have had, what is that one key aspect that
I think Somalia's voice is breaking somehow. I'm losing Somalia.
Yeah, it is breaking. It is breaking. So the question that he is asking, maybe let me repeat that for you, Somalia. It is related to the key lesson, that one key lesson that you want to.
Now we can hear you clearly, Somalia.
Looks like the power is there now at your home.
Yes, so the key lesson or insight that you would like to advise, share with us, you wish you knew when you were starting out. At this stage, what is your overall, from the overall experience that you have?
I think one of the key things, as I said, the spiritual part of it. That is one thing that took me through the entire journey very seamlessly, I would say. And the second thing is power of positive thinking. No matter what, you should be positive, in a positive frame of mind. You should never turn bitter. Even if failure hits you, and failure is going to hit you one day or the other. Like I read in one of the LinkedIn posts that you cannot be successful at everything that you do. Fail at everything that you do. That's a wonderful thing to happen, because if that is the case, people would never succeed. Okay, those who are failing, and those who are succeeding, they would never fail. Everybody has their fair share of failure and successes. What it needs from you is that positive frame of mind to go through the day.
Is it something related to law of wasted effort? I was thinking about, Avishek.
Yes, I think as that is the central theme. I think we have not touched upon it so far. So let's take the next 5 minutes. I think we have a question from Christina in the audience window.
Okay, let's take the question first.
Yes, let's take the question first.
Okay.
So she's asking, what if your energy does not match your colleagues or management, and even if you like the job, so do you want to stay or leave because you don't like the environment?
Okay, I would like to take the questions. I will break the question first. What if your energy does not match your colleague or management or energy? So I think that would be very unfortunate, I would say. The first thing is that if you day in, day out, every day, if you bring in a good amount of positive energy to workplace, my personal experience tells me that people around us will notice that. Okay, so I think all of us, we are a powerhouse of positive energy. It is just that we don't want to look at that side of ourselves. I haven't found a single person who doesn't want to be happy or cheerful. Is there anybody? I don't think so, right? So maybe circumstances, our roles, they make us the way we look like in front of others. But inherently or deep inside us, do we want to be happy and cheerful? Yes. So I think when somebody sees that, okay, somebody is more happy than I am, they will try to relate to you, talk to you, get in touch with you. And if you show that trait of energy only one day, possibly that will be discounted or maybe overlooked. But if you bring that energy to the workplace every single day, it is hard to miss that. So you will definitely find, even if you're alone on the very first day, I'm sure over a period of time, I'm not saying years, over a period of weeks or months, you will find like-minded souls around you who would come and connect with you. And that is a beautiful thing to happen, Christina. So that is one part of it. You stay or you leave if you like your job, but you don't like the environment. How I look at it is that there's a saying, I think there's a Japanese saying that, when the flower is not blooming, you treat the environment, not the flower. Okay, so environment definitely plays a very, very important role in what you do. You're right. If the environment is toxic, no matter how much positive energy you bring day in, day out on the table, it will be overlooked intentionally. If that is the case, I think
you need to change the soil, right?
Yeah, if you find that, change the soil, take your positive energy to some other table. I am definitely sure that somebody else is going to value that energy much more than somebody else does. So there's no harm, but give it a shot. Don't quit in weeks or months. Give it years and give the other side and yourself a significant amount of time. Okay, and then if you still feel that, okay, you know what, no matter what I do, something is not going to change, then you change. Simple. I hope I answered your question.
No, I like your answer, Avishek. I like your answer because first thing is be positive, right? Try your level best.
Yes.
Bring that energy every day to your office, to your colleagues, the changes will come. But if you are still have tried for days and weeks and months, and if you still see that your positive energy is there, but still people are, there is still a toxic environment, probably time to think
it's
about
a choice. At the end of the day, I cannot change people's choices. I can change my choices.
Yeah.
So my choices are mine. Yes. Okay. Christina says a big thank you. Thank you so much, Christina.
Lots of love.
Great.
Abhishek, and what I was thinking, which you rightly mentioned, like the power of positive thinking and self-affirmation. Like you are a highly positive soul, and you are bringing a lot of positive energies and vibes on the table. And maybe the environment is around is toxic. So what? I mean, if you're connected to the universe, it will give you that vibe that this might not be the right place to stay to sustain yourself. And you get these kind of signals. I mean, we all get it. I mean, if it is not working out, we keep getting these kind of signals over a time, basis which it makes us take that step when we move out and find a better environment which encourages or where my positive energies can indulge.
They say there's a saying that the universe is a mirror, so whatever you throw at the universe, it will reflect back at you 1,000 times, multifold. So the power of this particular phenomena tells me that if you are positive people will essentially find you over a period of time. It might take a little while, but it does not mean they will never find you, or you will not find a good environment. Okay, so you have to keep looking for it.
Good.
I guess we have just 2 more minutes.
Good. Yeah. But I don't want to actually stop, to be honest. I want to continue for 1 more hour. That's the kind of energy in this house today.
Good to hear that. I hope our audience is also enjoying with us.
Yeah, right. And this is the first time we were in live, so there were like few things we were still learning, right? But then the experience is really good. The experience of having a live podcast on LinkedIn platform, right? That's an amazing experience. And definitely, like as we grow, as we'll understand the nitty-gritty of podcast, and definitely it's will become more and more fruitful and useful for our audience as well.
Absolutely, but we should not undermine the success we had today, because I think 5 years down the line when we're going to look back, this is going to be one milestone podcast. Then it's going to really bring tears in our eyes, saying that what we did 5 years back was really wonderful, and it kind of inspired so many people around us. Even if it does 2 or 3 people, I think there's a success.
It is.
We are not here to bring a movement inspiring 1,000 people in one fine morning. But that is a very, very, I would say a very big goal. I'm happy if that is done. But even if 1 or 2 or 5 people are motivated this morning, I think that's a very, very big success for this conversation today.
I mean, the community is still growing, and we are trying to inculcate this nature of having discussions around various
open conversations about career.
Yes, career. I mean, which is a major part of our lives. We are spending so much time, 10 to 12 hours, 15 hours. We are slogging around for our jobs. And what is the end goal around it? I mean, what do we want to achieve out of it? So it's fabulous to have like-minded people on this platform and sharing their experience. I mean, you guys bring in a lot of experience, years of experience. So I'm sure that this is going to benefit and touch a lot of lives through LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
And through us.
And one thing I should definitely mention: this does not happen in a very office setup. So Christina is has been one of my customers, I would say, internally in one of my last assignments, and Gaurav and Somalia, we have been colleagues in the past. But the beauty of this discussion is that many years down the line we are able to catch up, and then we are able to have a conversation which is heart to heart and in a very informal setting many of our ex-colleagues will realize that what a hidden talent this group is, and we never realized that they existed within us. So, so that may be the beauty of it.
Yes, and that's the thing, right? We are so much engrossed in our day-to-day work.
Correct.
nobody has time to even think about, right? That okay, what else we can do?
Yes.
And there, a platform like Industry Ready, where they can, if they're spending even 1 hour outside of their work, just to mentoring people, probably they are helping themselves because somewhere their confidence, their skill set is improving, and that will help them for their next move, their career move, right? So it's a win-win for everyone. Win-win for the candidate who are looking for the transition, who are looking for the job, who are looking for the mentors, and great platform for the mentors also.
It can also help anyone to take a small decision in their daily life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. On that note, I think we are.
I would like to thank people who have joined in for watching us live, to listening to us, right?
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Avishek, for spending time with us on the preparation and through the live event.
My pleasure.
It was pleasure to having you today as a guest. I love the session and looking forward for more such sessions with you and with our upcoming guest. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And just to mention, I heard the first podcast with Christina. It was wonderful. That in a way inspired me to come for this session today. So Christina, all the way. Thank you so much. Yeah.
It was a great start, and I think the innings has just started, and we are going to.
Yes, the first is always special. Yes, and it was special indeed. I must congratulate Christina on that.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Avishek.
Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav.
Yeah. See you
so
on the
much.
next podcast, guys.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.